Studio Series 86, WreckGar. Power of the Primes, WreckGar.
Countdown to extinction. All hands to combat.
So I've been wanting to talk about my Studio Series WreckGar for months. And, I've been avoiding it because for the longest time, I felt like I was forgetting something. Like something major. And it turns out what I was forgetting was that I own Power of the Primes WreckGar. So why don't we go ahead and take a look here. Now, when it comes to the aesthetics, the Studio Series figure really is just a dead ringer for Floro Dairy's final design in the Transformers the movie from 1986. He looks sturdy, tough, but like he knows how to have a good time. Just from the face sculpt alone, really. I can already hear the dulcet tones of Eric Idle. And he's probably the first fully featured WreckGar toy to actually feature his nipple turrets. As for the Power of the Primes figure, well, he sure is a robot that turns into an orangish motorcycle, yeah? Yeah, it's some pretty typical Combiner Wars / Unite Warriors shared tooling and engineering. He's a remold of the Unite Warriors groove, which shared a lot of engineering with the various Scramble City jets of the line. And while a lot of the Combiner Wars figures still hold up for me, Darkwing and Dreadwind are the definitive versions of them for me, this one just doesn't hold up for me. Well, it doesn't sell me on him being WreckGar, at least. Possibly better as Groove, I don't know. I still kind of like him, mind you, but this really isn't WreckGar, it's kind of like a proto-Crash Bar. So while the aesthetic point goes to the Studio Series 86 by far here, I think I'll be calling the Power of the Primes guy Crush Bar or something from here out because, it never hurts to have an extra Junkian around. Accessory-wise, they both have axes. While Crush Bar's is long, unwieldy, and reused from a 2011 figure that was almost 7 years old at that point, SS86 is small and fun to spin. Plus his wheels are an entire other kettle of worms. And when it comes to the articulation, we'll go ahead and start with Power of the Primes Crush Bar here. And it's alright. It was decent for deluxes at the time. Has a knee bend, 360 arms, head spin, etc. You get it. He is adequate. He is the bare minimum of articulation you would expect from a modern Transformers figure. But when we look at the Studio Series 86, we see something completely different. Sheer passion was put into the construction of this bot. He's got knee swivels, which are honestly quite useful for getting the most out of that huge spread the legs give. He's got amazing knees that almost feel ratcheted in both directions for transformation purposes. He's got pretty good toe bends. Not only does he have a completely 360 waist joint, which is pretty fitting for a Junkian, truth be told, but he's also got one killer ab crunch. He's got 360 arm rotation with some mega butterfly joints, and he's got more than enough overall posability to pull off some dynamic hero poses for sure. So yeah, for the articulation, Studio Series 86 WreckGar steals the win again. And now I guess it's time for some quick transformations, first starting with the Power of the Primes one. here we go with the Studio Series. So yeah, while Power of the Prime's transformation is pretty fun, if a little confusing at first due to the different arm orientation in the final alt mode compared to much of Combiner Wars, the Studio Series 1 proved to be difficult. The spine section and head/torso being pushed up was pretty difficult for me to figure out, and it's really not very fun to do. So for transformation, surprisingly, I'm giving it to Power of the Primes. Thus far, the points are Studio Series 86, 2, and Power of the Primes 1. As for the aesthetic of the bikes, gotta be honest here, these are both pretty stellar looking motorcycles. So I'll give them a point each for that. And last thing to note before we move on to the lightning round, if you've got more than one SS Junkion, you can make some pretty fun fan modes with those extra wheels. Here's WreckGar as an ATV. Now for the lightning round. We'll be taking a look at what figures can convincingly ride our WreckGars. Okay, that works super solidly, actually. You know, I actually wasn't expecting this one to work that well, but damn, does it look great, actually. Yeah, okay, this works pretty well. Barely works. Barely. No, that does not work. You know what? Yeah, that looks really cool, actually. No. Barely, yes. Just barely. Just barely a yes on that one. No! Beautifully so. You know, just barely in the game here, but sure, I'll give the point for the monkey here. But over here, I love it. It's great. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Barely. Just barely. But you got a point here. And no, not really. Could we still see a comeback for Power of the Primes here? Oh wow. Now that works. Beautifully even. I love it. Okay, but wow, this actually works really well too. Holy slap. No. Yeah, this works. This works. Definitely works. Honestly, this works surprisingly well. Props. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Alright. You know what? I'll just barely give it to you. And you are fantastic. And our final score is... Regardless of our final score here, if you've been on the fence about Studio Series WreckGar because you already have previous WreckGars, don't be. The Studio Series one is, in all honesty, the definitive G1 WreckGar. What the PO2EP figure offered at the time was honestly novel, but a bit lazy. If you're in the market for a G1 WreckGar, honestly, go for the SS86 one. All other options just pale in comparison. But you know, the Power of the Primes one does still have its own charm. So if you already have it, hey, it never hurts to have an extra no-name Junkian in your crowd shots. Now, I'd love to have an animated WreckGar alongside these guys, though. So hey, Hasbro, let me know who's firstborn I have to sacrifice to get that. So, wow. Now for the lightning round. We'll be taking a look at what figures can convincingly... So why don't we go ahead and take a look at them. Okay, I'm not happy with that take. There's Groove, which shared a lot of engineering with the various Scramble City jets of the line. And while a lot of the Combiner Wars figures still hold, these are both super ready to play with blast effects. But while Siege's Stantle is too small for most stands, he's really a bit of a